I recently found out that some of you in the Facebook group aren't watching the videos and you're just asking questions of other people in the group and trying to get answers and stuff. I'm trying to bypass, watching my videos. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Stuart Crook. I'm talking to a bunch of other you guys. Now, I'm out here in the woods right now, and you might wonder what I'm doing. Well, you should be wondering, and you should be worrying a little bit, because if you don't watch my videos, I got some friends that might come see you. Hey, don't go in there. Don't go in there. I got some people buried back. I mean, I don't have, just don't go in there. It's full of non-subscribers.
Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Glam Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about sticking to one rep range. Now, I just recently had somebody talk to me about the 5x5 training program, which I talked about, and whether it's effective or not, or whether I like it or not. And the thing is, if you want to check that video out, I'll put it up here. Take a look, and I give you my opinion and thoughts on the 5x5 training system. And, long story short, it's good, okay? There you go. One question I had from somebody, they said, if you're sticking to a rep range for a period of time, such as 5x5 or, 5x8 or whatever it is, should you just stick to that rep range until the weights become perpetually easier and then you get more reps from those weights? So basically your strength becomes so good from such rep range that it naturally starts to turn to hypertrophy at some point. Now, that's a good question. But the one thing I found is that sticking to one rep range, although it works really well at first, it'll work really well at first for you, at some point you'll notice that your gains stagnate. And that's when I started to make changes in my rep ranges to get more results. Now, it doesn't mean that that rep range was useless. It doesn't mean, like, say, let's just say a rep range like 8 reps. It doesn't mean that the 8 rep range was useless. It just means that sometimes there is a different weak link that the body needs to access in order to get to the next step. And depending on what that weak link is will depend on what rep range you might need in order to get to the next step. So I found that by mixing up the rep ranges, I made faster progress than just sticking to one. Now, of course, the disclaimer on all this is that if you're sticking to one rep range and you're getting results, then by all means, just stick to that until the results plateau. But once the results plateau, then it's a good idea for you to say, okay, what would be 10 to 15 reps? What would that feel like? What would 15 to 20 reps feel like? What would sets of 5 reps feel like? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I finally found it. I finally found it. I have found the meadow of glorious gains. Glorious! You know what I'm saying? So I found it's great to do heavy weight and then give the body time to rest from that heavy weight. But while it's resting, you pump it full of blood with the lighter weights, and therefore you get a synergistic effect, which is the basis of my 2-day split training programs and my 3-day split training programs. I mix up the reps based on what I feel needs the recovery at the time, and then while one area is resting, I train the other areas and therefore get a faster exponential result over the long run. So that's really what you're after. But in the end, there is really no one answer to this, because each rep range will have its pluses and minuses, and I find that a lot of times, yeah, you want to gain strength at first, but then eventually you want to rep out with that strength. But the fastest way to it, though, I find, isn't by sticking to 5x5 type training or a pyramid type training system. I find it's good to train with a certain system, gain some strength, and then have a rep day, or at the end of your workout, do some reps to burn out, or whatever way you want to structure it. But I find that I get more results from picking a weight where I can already do a lot of repetitions. Now, once you combine the strength and the hypertrophy training, you'll naturally notice that the weights that you're using for hypertrophy training naturally start to go up. And from this, you naturally start to put on more muscle mass. Now, the other thing is, with the higher frequency type training, I found that this naturally happened. My strength started to go up even when I was doing higher rep ranges. I didn't necessarily need to do 5 rep sets in order to gain strength, although I still would do them from time to time, right? So yeah, you have to feel your way through this in order to find what's right for you. But I've found that the best way to make the results over the long run, especially if you're hitting a plateau, is to change those rep ranges up, and therefore you get the best of both worlds, the strength and the hypertrophy for natural bodybuilding gains. So I hope this helps out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get hold of me, just go to naturalglambodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Mountain.